that we're in a rural area, it is harder for us to get these patients help that they need.
Law enforcement continue to deal with problems related to emergency custody orders while responding to a mental health crisis. Hello, I'm Kyle Rogers. Chelsea has the night off. One of the biggest issues for law enforcement is a lack of open beds in state psychiatric hospitals. WHSV's Colby Johnson joins us now from the newsroom to explain the strain it's having. Hey, Colby.
Hey, Kyle. An ECO is when police take someone in crisis into custody because they may be a threat to themselves or others. After an initial evaluation, police take them to a hospital and stay there with them for up to 72 hours while they wait to transfer them to a state facility if that's necessary. And that's the point where they're having some problems.
More times than not, it takes the full 72 hours before a bed's made available. And then oftentimes a bed's not available, at which point we have to let the patient, we have to release the patient and let them walk out.
For state psychiatric facilities like Western State Hospital in Stanton, ECO patients are often unable to be admitted due to major understaffing.
Our vacancy rates for the aides, who are the people on the floor working with the patients, it's close to 60% vacancy. As you move down in the other positions, the LPNs, we have a vacancy rate somewhere in the mid-40s.
Contributing to the problem is that private hospitals have increased salaries for nursing staff at a rate state facilities can't keep up with, and there aren't enough behavioral health professionals as it is.
You don't have enough psychiatrists, you don't have enough psychologists, you don't have enough licensed clinical social workers or counselors, and part of that is because the jobs are just are dangerous. And pay is not what it needs to be.
Stakeholders say one way to address the ongoing issues would be to increase funding to agencies like regional community service boards to provide more types of mental health resources.
For rural Virginia, we need more funding. We don't have the facilities that are in Northern Virginia and other places of facilities that you could go for 23 hours, receive crisis care, and be released.
The current issue puts a strain on police departments who have to take an officer off of patrol, sometimes for days, and have them monitor a patient who should be sent to a state facility. Once the 72 hours is up, the patients are often released.
After that, the patient's back on his own, and tragically, things happen where the patient hurts himself, or doesn't get the treatment he needs.
State Senator Creigh Deeds has been working to address mental health issues for years in Virginia. He says he has introduced language in the Senate version of the state budget to create more psychiatric residencies in Virginia. In the newsroom, Colby Johnson, WHSV.
The town of Grottoes is losing its only medical facility.
South River Medical Clinic is closing after 10 years of providing care to the town.
WHSV's Colby Johnson stopped by the clinic before it closes for good.
For the last decade, Mary Koogler has provided medical care to the people of Grottoes and surrounding communities here at the South River Medical Clinic. But today, the clinic opened its doors to patients for the final time.
It's been a great deal. I mean, I can't tell you how many patients have come in saying can't somebody take it over, and gonna miss them. And it's been special.
In 2012, Mary Koogler opened South River Medical Clinic and has been an invaluable resource to the community since then. But now, as she retires, the clinic is closing as she's been unable to find someone to take over.
People don't want to go to family practices anymore. People want to go to the big institutions where they can make big money. You don't make big money in a small practice like this. You know, this is a blue-collar town. A lot of my patients have no insurance.
Koogler and her staff have provided a variety of medical services like x-rays, vaccinations, and various treatments.
It's personal care. It's I'm more than a number, I'm a person, and she's always treated me. She knows me by my first name. We know each other's families. We know it's just hometown comfort.
As Koogler retires to spend more time with her family, she says she will miss the people she served most of all.
Seeing different family members and taking care of their needs. You know, it's always gratifying when you can help somebody and know that you did something good for them.
The town of Grottoes says it hopes to bring another medical clinic to the town in the future. In Grottoes, Colby Johnson, WHSV.
Rockingham County Board of Supervisors will consider a proposed truck stop in Mosey tomorrow.
Some people who live nearby are urging the supervisors to vote no on it. WHSV's Colby Johnson tells us why.
A number of Mosey residents are urging the Rockingham County Board of Supervisors to vote no on a truck stop proposal that would be built here across the street. They cite a number of problems. Chief among those are environmental concerns.
We're very concerned that with the sinkholes on this property and surrounding this property, that surface water would be able to intrude into the groundwater and contaminate wells and then ultimately Smith Creek.
One concern is that there's no public water and sewer utilities on the property, which could lead to runoff from the truck stop, causing environmental damage. It would also go against the county's comprehensive plan.
Rockingham County's comp plan is very clear that the county wants to maintain agriculture through locating development in areas where there are existing towns, where there's existing public sewer and water.
Teresa Kem lives directly across from the 31-acre property and is worried that the truck stop could have a devastating impact on her own property.
We are just very much concerned that with there being no public water, that when they start drilling for their well or multiple wells, that they will run ours dry.
Gas City LLC in Leesburg is proposing the development. I spoke briefly with the owner today, who claimed that the proposal stormwater drainage system would prevent any of the runoff problems. In Mosey, Colby Johnson, WHSV.
While the holiday season is a time of great joy, it's also a time for sorrow for some. Each year, Centera RMH has a bereavement tree that they put up for families who have lost a child. On Tuesday night at 7, a service will be held by the tree for families who have lost a child. It's a tradition that goes back 35 years and allows families to grieve together. WHSV's Colby Johnson has more.
For these families, it's not a happy and jolly time. So I think being with other families that can understand and know their grief and understand their grief is really important.
Pat Kennedy and her husband started the bereavement tree in 1987 after their son was stillborn. Over the years, the tree has helped many parents grieve as they come to the service and hang ornaments that honor their lost children.
Knowing that you're not alone, I think, is really important. And that was important for us as a family, is to know that we're not the only people who have these feelings and who are going through this kind of pain and loss and grief.
There is nothing like the comfort of somebody saying, I know how you feel, and you know that they know how you feel. And that is a gift beyond compare.
Ann and Peter Johnson first came to the service after losing a child in 2008. They say while the tree is only up for the holiday season, it provides connections that make a difference throughout the year.
When one or the other has a bad day, even if it's nothing but, you send a heart or you send hugs or whatever, it establishes a way for you to be connected and to there again walk with other people.
The Johnsons encourage anyone who's lost a child to come out to the service on Tuesday.
Christmas and the holidays is about family. This is an opportunity to have an extended family and to support each other, to let each other know that we're here for you. We understand what you're going through, because it's not just a one-day thing, it's an everyday thing.
In Harrisonburg, Colby Johnson, WHSV.